Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Reverse 1999 video. Alright, today's video is going to be more about team building, which a lot of you guys have requested me to do, and hopefully this video can help some of you guys out. Keep in mind, I'm focusing this slightly towards the beginners and the casual and free-to-play players, and therefore I will feature some of the lower rarity characters as well. Now, if you have been re-rolling non-stop for any of the 6 stars, 5 stars, a lot of them definitely will need their own investment for sure, but hopefully I'll try to give you guys some guides in terms of building a team overall. So with that being said, let's jump into it. But first things first, if you guys are not aware, there's a coupon code, the latest coupon code given out in the official Reverse 1999 Discord would be this particular one. So hopefully make sure you guys use that. I'll try to pin it in the comment section below as well, so you guys can copy and paste if you guys haven't used this one yet. Now, in terms of most early game, in terms of progressing in the story and stuff, if you're just progressing through early chapters, you know, right now, I believe you guys are aware, we have access to 4 chapters for the time being. So that's all you want to try to do for the time being. Focus on progressing throughout in chapter up to chapter 4, normal and hard, and then power up your characters along the way, right? Now here's the thing, there are characters that are going to be much more efficient to build early on right now. If you guys are not aware, they basically released this particular live stream on the one day before the game launch, and these are the 4 characters that will have the return of growth rewards, and that's going to be all 4 characters that will be free in chapter 1, and that is Leilani, Soneto, Apple, and Eagle. So make sure you guys build them. Now, how far should you build them, or how much should you progress in building them, right? You shouldn't build them all the way to inside 3, but you do get their rewards back. If you go to the game inside here, if you check under the task, alright, you can see right here it's featured in the return of growth segment right there. So they do, alright, you will get back all the required materials that's used to leveling them up, right? So you can see Eagle right here will give you slightly more, and Leilani will give you slightly less because Eagle is a 4-star and Leilani is a 3-star, right? Now I do think it's worth it to build these characters, because if you reroll for a bunch of 6-star characters, ideally it's going to be much more expensive to build all of them. If you guys are not aware, the higher the rarity, the higher the stars, the more resources are going to be required to build them, alright? They're getting all the level up materials, all the coins required, it's going to be very, very expensive. Now, how do you ideally want to build a team in Reverse 1999? It's going to be very simple. Just like in most other games, this game is divided into 2 categories, right? We have mental damage and we have reality damage. So Miss Moisen right here, so she is going to use a reality damage. Alright, so this is all going to be fixed upon her. You can see she's only going to have reality damage in terms of a damage type. This game uses mental and reality, but I think it's pretty much the same like most other games. They have magical and physical. You know, reality is more like physical, while mental is more like magical, but just keep that in mind. So if you are building a team that complements your characters, ideally you want to have somebody that can buff, like a buffer that can buff your particular main damage dealer. So you want to start out from that. Now let's say you have Lilia. Alright, so this is one of my account. I do have Lilia right here. So Lilia is a very unique character that does reality damage. Now, who is going to be a good debuffer in a team with Lilia, for example? In this case, one example is Cornblum right here, which I don't have yet, but hopefully I'll get her eventually. This is a 5-star and easily obtainable, right? Cornblum is one of the best debuffer if you're trying to build a reality team, because you can see right here one of the skill prying ear. Alright, this can cause mass debuff, and enemies will basically have their reality defense decreased by 15% and damage taken increase as well. So this is going to be something that's much more consistent if you're trying to build a much more specialized team. Now if you don't have Cornblum, you can go for someone like Soneto. Soneto is definitely much more flexible. She fits in every team, right? As you can see, her buff is going to be something that anyone can benefit from. Alright, so damage dealt and damage taken minus 15%, and then penetration rate plus 10% for the caster. So Soneto is going to be a mixture of character that works very well in both reality and mental teams. Now obviously you want to have a solid damage dealer, and that's going to be your main one. You need to have a secondary buffer that can also help you do damage, and the last slot should be reserved for a healer, right? This is going to be your your DK, for example, right? So hopefully you'll have, if you log into the game for 8 days, you will be getting a free DK day 8. Alright, so make sure you guys do so, log in every single day. So DK is going to be a free option for every single player out there. So very good character that can help you heal. So you can see if your HP is below 50%, the heal is going to be even more significant. That's going to be something that's very helpful. One thing though to consider is for healers, they usually also have damage dealing skills. So DK, if you pair with Lilia, might not be the best combo because DK's attacking skill right here does mental damage. So Lilia is going to be a reality damage. So a healer that helps better, in my humble opinion, is Sotobi, right? So that's why I have Sotobi built here, as you can see, because Sotobi is somebody that deals reality damage. And yes, she can do poison, but she also is a reality character, therefore it complements Lilia better in that case. Alright, so you have like one strict team, and her heal basically gives you a cure, which helps you to regenerate your HP at the end of the turn, right? Now in terms of healer, Medicine Pocket is also a very good character. Make sure you guys, if you have Medicine Pocket, also going to be one of the better healers out there. Alright, also can perform debuff, fits better in the mental team however, and can also help to debuff a little bit. So yeah, that's a basic rule. Ideally, choose whether you want to have a reality team or a mental team, and then go from there. Alright, start off with your damage dealer, and then move on to your debuffer, and the last one is going to be your healer. Obviously a healer is going to be very important later on, but you might be able to get away in the first couple of chapters without having a healer at all, but this is going to be how you want to build a team for the time being. Super basic stuff. And obviously in some game modes you are able to add a fourth character in, and in that case that can be like a flex, can be anyone depending on what you need. If you need more sustain, you can go 2 healers. If you want to, you can ideally 2 damage dealer is going to make the most sense for that particular one, right? Now let's talk about some teams. Give you guys a little bit of example. So let's go back to Lilia in one of my accounts. Besides mental and reality teams, you also have to worry about a crit oriented team. For example, Lilia and Regulus is well known for that. So what is a crit oriented team? So Lilia, if you look at her skill, you can see right here, right? So she has this particular one. This is her ultimate, and whenever she does the ultimate damage, when this scores a critical hit, alright, so ideally you want it to crit, she will enjoy the leech rate plus 15%. You can see that's one of the reasons why you would want her to crit. And also she has this particular skill where if she scores a critical hit, she will be able to perform one extra attack that deals another, reality damage, and this extra attack is regarded as one extra action. So Lilia, definitely you want to build her in a crit oriented team, and there are some characters that can help with that to basically reduce enemies crit defense, and that's going to help you a lot. So what are the examples of that? So the cheaper option alternative right now is going to be Eric. Eric is probably one of the better candidates for budget option if you're trying to build a Lilia or Regulus crit teams. But I do think that Eric fits better in a Lilia team than a Regulus team, because Regulus does mental damage as opposed to reality damage. If you look at one of the Eric's skill right here, this particular one, where if you convert this to 2-star, it becomes a debuff. Now critical resistance rate and critical defense minus 25% for the target. So this is going to be very helpful. Alright, not only does it do damage, it also helps you boost your Lilia's damage in that way. So if you're trying to build a crit oriented reality damage team, Eric is going to shine a little bit. So this is a good example of a team that you can benefit from if you're trying to build a Lilia. Now let's talk about a Regulus team. Now in terms of Regulus, apparently Baby Blue helps Regulus better. Now why Baby Blue? Because she does mental damage, as you can see, and she also has the ability right here, Tea Party skill. She basically will be able to reduce enemies mental defense minus 25%. That's going to help her a little bit. And one more debuff right here, where she can basically mass debuff by increase the damage taken for all the enemies. So she helps in that sense. She's going to be very useful if your team is much more mental oriented. So yeah, like I mentioned, for reality teams, if you're looking to build a Lilia team, one of the better ones right now is Lilia, Eric, and either Balloon Party, Sotobi, or Tannen. So these are all very good characters. They sort of fit in the healer role. Tannen is a little bit of an exception. She doesn't really heal, but she gives shield. Alright, so if you guys play maybe Honkai Star Rail, you know that is something like what the preservation characters can do in a way, right? So she basically fits the role in trying to sustain your team. As you can see right here, this one, the Bouquet Galaxy, alright, gives all allies a shield and damage taken minus 20% while the shield is active. So this is going to be a very good combo as well, and she also does reality damage, so pairs really well with Lilia as well. So she's definitely somebody that you can consider if you're looking for a character that, you know, have a slightly different playstyle, right? Now, same applies for Centurion team or Eternity. So if you happen to have any of these two, so they also both do reality damage. I do think that there are more reality damage characters for the time being compared to mental damage, which I believe is much more of a physical oriented teams, right? So as you can see, Centurion and Eternity, you know, you can swap depending on either one. In that case, Oneto is going to be a very good buffer for them, alright? And then obviously you don't want Eric anymore in that case, because Eric is much more in the crit oriented team. Balloon Party, Sotobi, Tenant, again very good pair with this bunch. And then of course, if you want to go for more budget 5 stars, you can go for Cornblum, Soneto, and Balloon Party or Sotobi, right? So those are going to be one of the better cast of teams that you can build right now. Now as for mental teams, Regulus or Charlie are both very strong. Now one thing to keep in mind about Charlie, however, it's really hard to make Charlie work without the portray or without the dupes for Charlie. Alright, you gotta get at least up to 3 dupes, because 3 dupes is gonna basically, the portray tree is when Charlie starts to shine. Alright, Tempest to T. Additionally, deals mental damage when the caster's HP is below 80%. So if you look at Charlie's requirements for a lot of the skills, right? So especially this particular card, alright, the Tempest to T, you can see this one does a lot of damage, right? One target attack, deals mental damage. If the caster's HP is below 50%, then deals 90% more mental damage. Now this one is quite hard to achieve unless you are not bringing any healer and you're letting the enemies hit you constantly. But ideally you want to get this bonus right here, and Portrait Tree is going to make that a lot more easier. That requirements is no longer 50% but 80%. So in that case, it's going to make Charlie way more efficient, alright, if you're trying to build a much more budget oriented team. So like I mentioned, Charlie pairs really well with Baby Blue again, and this time DK is going to be a good fit because DK is a mental damage dealer as well, or you can also use Medicine Pocket in this case. So very good combo, either one of those will work. Now one more is going to be for a counter-oriented team. So this is going to be a little bit different, right, where Voyager comes in. Voyager has a very unique skill and also complements really well with Regulus. Now as you can see, Voyager has some of the skill right here. Mending Sonata, where she will be able to provide mass counter and gives all allies 1 stack of Blessing and Sturdiness, right? So the caster gains additional stack of Interstellar Blessing. Now Interstellar Blessing is sort of like a counter that will give your Voyager an ability to counter the enemy and therefore doing a lot of damage. Plus she also has the ability to cast Confusion. Now Confusion basically means the enemy's crit defense are going to get reduced. So therefore Voyager and Regulus is one of the better combo out there, alongside with Balloon Party as a healer. You will see this being run a lot as well. So yeah, these are the examples of teams. Obviously, there's going to be a number of variety of different combination of characters, but I just figured I want to give you guys some examples. For the time being, I don't own all the characters, so it's going to be hard for me to show everything, right? But hopefully you guys get a better idea of what team to run. As reference, also Pride1 I believe has a very good resource that you guys can check out. So right here you can see they even have showcased for some of the CN server team composition. Alongside with teaming Lilia, Regulus, and 2 Fairy, which is going to be available to us on version 1.2. That's not going to be anytime soon. And there's a Poison team as well, you can see, with Changeling, Sotobi. If you did pull for Sotobi, Sotobi is going to shine really strong in a Poison team later on, once Changeling comes in version 1.2. So definitely future-proof yourself as well. That's something to consider alongside with Cornblum as well. So yeah, with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully, I'll try to make more guides along the way. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. And if you guys have anything to add, feel free to do so as well. As always, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.